boys are down the ocean. Jim's biggest test and beefy toes. All this week on Jim Joe Steve Show.
Here's a story about 20 years ago. Three bros who grew up in Baltimore to the beach show. Every summer they had to go before they got married with kids. Now they all grown. Long trips to New York and Toronto. Playing beer pong with Captain Morgan's. Free throws. And if you don't know, now you know. Coming in hot. Jim Joe Steve Show.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Jim Joe Steve Show, live from Ocean City. My name is Joe. I'm here with my two ocean pals.
My name's Steve.
And I am Jim.
And we are here to bring you another half hour of joy. Joy. Have I said joy yet? I've used pleasure.
I don't know, but you did say live.
I mean, it's live for us.
It is live for us.
And, you know,
Deja vu.
that's not all that matters because our listeners matter. But it matters that we're having a good time.
Yeah, it just so happened that this week I was down with a family vacation and at Ocean City, and Jim and Joe decided to come down as
Ocean
well.
City, Maryland.
Just pop down. Yeah, not Ocean City, New Jersey. Nobody would go to that place.
Yeah, I know.
Way. This has been a lifelong dream of us to record somewhere
record
else.
from the beach. Yeah, I know.
Ever since I was a little Joe, I thought I
Since
want
you were
to.
Joseph.
I want to record something down the ocean.
This has been a family vacation, and I didn't realize how much shit you have to bring on family vacations because it's the first time I had to do one as a family of 5.
So much stuff down to the beach.
It is so much shit.
Did you have a carrier on your
I
car?
have on my car.
Yeah, or the new Palisade.
On the new Palisade.
Does it have enough room in it?
It has enough room.
But it was all filled up with cups.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, my birthday was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Happy
And-
belated.
Thank you. And my wife, for my birthday, got me 2 insulated mugs.
Oh, isn't
Please tell me she did it as a joke.
I don't think she did it as a joke. When we record with her, we should ask her.
She must not listen.
She listens sometimes, but it made me laugh because I opened it up and I said, "Is this a bit?"
And then she got pissed.
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh," and then I had to be like, "Oh, it's a cup." And I was like, "It's another one." And then the first thing I did was turn it over and it said hand wash only.
These bitches are going right.
She plays a
into the
long
dishwasher.
game.
Oh,
She
it's
does.
a constant joke.
Is it a joke though?
No, it's probably, but serious. So, being down the ocean, it definitely makes me love to dance with the waves.
God, that was the best nickname ever. Dances with waves.
Did you like to dance with waves? And for our listeners, dance with waves means Joe and I just would go out in the ocean and stay an extra long time, just letting waves hit us.
I enjoy it now, just kind of sitting on the sand and enjoying just sitting on the beach. But for a while, I hated it. I either wanted to be on the water or not at the beach. And Steve, I think, was my brother in arms in that. And we would just go hop in the water, and it would be an hour plus at a time in the water. Then we'd take a little break, slug a beer,
Yeah.
and then go back in the water.
Because I don't really like sitting on the beach, just sitting there.
Even
and
now?
Even now.
Yeah.
And that's why I love that we bought one of those tents, and all I do is sit in that fucking tent.
EB says that you're not allowed to have a tent in Ocean City.
Well,
I think
not
there's
one
a
of
shit ton of tents.
not one of those massive tents, but I have one that like kids sit in. So I checked it, and it was actually like I
allowed.
I googled it.
You Googled it.
Do you like when people say Google search?
I rather when they say they binged it.
They ducked
No
up.
one said- no one
code
binged.
it.
I like when they ask Jeeves.
Hippies do that.
I know. But while I was dancing with waves, it reminded me of a funny story of the beach.
Of one of our beach trips?
Not one of our beach trips, but I
Wait, you went to the beach without us?
I did a couple times.
This
I
guy.
might have
That
gone without you.
Yeah.
I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine. I was with her family down the ocean, and we were at their place. And I went out and was dancing with waves. Just sitting out there, swimming all around, like jumping under the waves, trying to swim across. Doing the normal stuff.
Doing all sorts of sweet tricks.
Doing all the sweet tricks, all the shit I
surfing.
normally do. Then all of a sudden, I see an orange save device next to me.
Oh,
And
inner tube?
I turn next to me, and it's a lifeguard, and he's like, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just out here swimming." He's like, are you sure you're all right?
That doesn't look like swimming to me.
So I was like, yeah, I'm just swimming. He's like, why don't you swim in with me real quick? And then
And we can make it super
I think
embarrassing.
you were stroking
and
out.
then if and then go back out. And I was like, all right, no problem. So I swam in with him. And then I realized that I looked like I was drowning. That's how I swim. So he came to rescue me, and I had to walk in, and all I could see was my ex-girlfriend and her whole family just watching me.
They're all standing up.
They're all
Everybody-
Nobody bothered to say, no, he's fine.
They're all staring at me as I walk in, and it is the biggest wall. Because, of course, you see the lifeguard run out, and everyone on the beach is staring at
Oh,
you.
yeah. And everyone wants to see what the hell is going on.
Did you put your hands up when you were walking in like, yeah,
Well, I know.
Swam in myself.
I made it.
I didn't need this
I
guy.
didn't even need this guy. And then I just got onto the beach, and then
Did he let you use his little orange floaty?
no, I didn't want to touch it because I was just gonna be like, yeah, I'm a good swimmer. Like trying to prove a point. And it haunts me to this day.
Like
Just
the
thinking-
embarrassment?
Yeah, the embarrassment of going back in and I could see everyone watching me. And it's like, it's not, normally we've talked about it before where no one really pays attention to you when you do stuff and it's all
Right,
in your head.
right.
Your embarrassment is yours and not anyone
Yeah,
else's.
yeah, exactly. But this was actually mine because everyone was staring at me and I was just walking up to the beach, head down, so sad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That reminds me of not. You said two key words that chimed me in on something else, but you said embarrassing and swimmers. And I had an extremely embarrassing situation 2 days ago, actually. I had a vasectomy a couple months back, and then you have to do the post vasectomy.
Got to clean the pipes like 30 times.
Well, that, which is not bad, but you have to go and get tested
Oh, right.
to make sure that you have no live swimmers. You know, when you get the vasectomy, they give you the, what do you call the thing that you have to put the swimmers
Pocket
in?
pussy. Oh,
The deposit container, I guess you
oh,
could say.
right,
Yeah,
right.
And then,
Receptacle.
yes. So you have that, and then you just call around to whatever place, like LabCorp or Quest or whatever those places are. So I wanted to make this as efficient as possible. So I called and
So you went to LabCorp and just shot one on the counter.
somebody clean this up and let me know if there's any live swimmers in here.
Get the dustpan.
But so I
30. I put in 60.
I didn't want to
Those are rookie numbers.
be there. You got to pump those numbers up. I didn't want to be there any longer than I had to. So I called. I'm like, do I got to make an appointment? They're like, no, you just walk in and you can give the sample to the lady behind the counter. I'm like, are you sure? Yes. I'm like, all right, fine. So I do the deed, which might be one of the most awkward, like, unfun deeds that you can
Is
do.
the room sexy?
No, you don't do it there. You do it
Oh,
home.
you bring it home. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. The new way.
Aren't they
Okay.
all dead by the time you get there?
Well, that's the thing. Like, apparently not.
They could tell that maybe they were recently alive.
Well, they shouldn't even be there.
Oh, right, correct. Yes, it should be void of
yeah.
swimmers. Period. Not
Oh,
dead
really?
ones. Yeah, it
Right.
just stops them from leaving your body. They're just
They just
forever
get soaked.
soaked.
They just soaked up into you.
Does that give you strength?
No, it doesn't. It drains me. I got a bunch of kids pulling on me.
He
constantly.
wiggles a lot more in his sleep.
He's got like ants in his pants.
yeah.
So I drive there. I have this sample that I'm staring at for 15 minutes as I get there, and I'm
You
thinking,
letting it bake up on your dashboard?
showing everyone it's.
Super.
And I all I want to do is run in, throw my sample at the lady, and run out because it's just weird. So I go there, and there's nobody behind the counter. So now I'm sitting there waiting, and then this lady comes out and calls somebody. I'm like, hey, I'm just here to drop off something. She's like, oh, check in. I'm like, but you guys said I didn't need an appointment. You've still got to check in. So it's like 11 a.m. So I check in, and it says first available appointment, 12:20. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I'm like, I guess you got to take it. So I hit okay. And now I'm sitting in the waiting room with my sample in my hand, staring at everyone. And everyone knows, like, what it is.
Do you go to, like, a normal
It's
doctor
just-
for that?
it's-
Or is
you
it
go
a
to, like,
specialty
a-
clinic?
The place where you drug test.
Like if you would get a drug test,
like
it's just-
LabCorp or
it's
something like
LabCorp
that.
or Quest. There's
So you
like
could
two
have,
different.
kids running around.
Yeah, it's like a
knocking
waiting
into
room.
it.
Right. So I'm like holding this, and like people know, and it's the most awkward thing because they know how it got there, and like I'm sitting there, and then
They know what you did.
right. So a lady comes out again and calls somebody else, like, "Hey, I was told I can just drop this off." She was like, "Somebody be right with you, sir." So now I'm the asshole trying to butt in front of
You should
everybody.
have just left it on with a post in there or Jim.
I'll call you next week. Let me
Yeah.
know how it goes. And then finally, this other lady came out and she kind of gave me the eye roll. She's like, "I'll take you back, sir." And then they let me. So I only had to
She'd be
wait
like, why do I even need to go back? Just take this cup
right,
from
take
me.
this. Here's my insurance shit. But it was just such an awkward. I felt like everyone was staring at me, and I'm holding this sample. It wasn't like a sample of pee.
Right.
So there's only so many things it's not that you could put in the jar. So
Imagine being in medical device sales, because everything in a hospital or doctor's office, it's sold, and you're the guy that sells those. And you're at a dinner party and you introduce yourself, and you say, "Oh, I'm in medical device sales," and they say, "What do you sell?"
cum cups.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I got to kill it.
You
I
did.
got to kill
You got
joke.
my joke. But I mean, who doesn't love good alliteration right there? I mean, you sling cum cups.
Dude probably makes millions.
Dude, the look on Steve's face right now is of pure disgust.
I don't know. It just made me gross.
It was
thinking about
so clinical that
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun at all.
It was an exercise in knowledge,
Yeah,
wanting to know more about yourself.
yeah. So if you got to get a vasectomy,
Did you get the results yet?
no, it was 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'll be pissed
I'd
if there's swimmers in there because I ain't. What do you do from there?
Go and get it snipped again.
What are they gonna snip?
Maybe
Maybe I've been snipped.
Did you keep like a tally board? Like, remember in school they used to cut the construction paper and make the little rings? Like, and you would rip one off each day and be like, it's one day closer to Christmas.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Did you do one every day? and
No,
be
but
like,
I
one
kept fudging the
for-
numbers a little bit and told my wife, like, I'm only on 12. You're gonna have to help me out.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, don't do it the other way.
No. And a lot of people don't even go back. They just
To get checked.
yeah, and then
Right.
that's how like
Accidents happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it could because it is such kind of it wasn't a pain in the ass, but you're like, I got snipped. I feel it. Like I got it done, so it must work. Like why do I got to go bust one in the cup and get it tested? And
Yeah,
well,
you don't. I mean, you should know, like, because instead of coming out now, they just swim inside you.
yeah, they just soak into you, and they go. I don't know where the hell they go, but supposedly they don't go out.
So what they tell me is,
He was down there for 17 minutes. Count it.
is that long, short, or average?
I thought that was kind of short. From pants down to pants up, 17 minutes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's.
I was
Guess that's pretty-
I was in from door
It's
to
like a
door.
NASCAR tire change.
An assembly line.
Yeah, my doctor said I'll have you in and out in 15 minutes, and I was like, bullshit.
Do you
But-
think they like doing that? Because it's just like whatever the amount of money they get for it, and they're just like, it's so easy.
Would you like staring at beanbags all day?
That's the question. But if you want to be a doctor, that's what you do.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're a dick doctor, you know that's what you're doing. Like that.
Like what?
That's-
I get the thing about what is the level.
that's not the profession. Your dad was like, "This is the route I really want you to go."
Yeah,
son."
I guess when you're in a doctor, like maybe they give you a list and they're like, we don't have enough dick doctors. So when you graduate medical school, they're like,
You might want to go in this
Billy,
field.
you're a dick doctor. Johnny, you're a gynecologist.
Right, but that one's like 3 miles long.
Yeah, I know. That's a wait. They got a
Oh
wait list
no,
for that.
I think that is not. You're not seeing the good ones. You're seeing
You're seeing all of them.
right, but do you want to see all of them?
If you're a doctor, it doesn't matter.
Well,
Or at
right.
least you hope.
Well, yeah, if you're a doctor, but what I'm saying is you don't. It's not like somebody got that one and everyone else is like, oh damn, that's the one I wanted. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go into gynecology because you want to see.
Right. You gotta hope they're going in for the right reasons.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because
it was a stab.
like
at
you,
a
you
bad
don't
joke.
have a fetish about something and then go be a doctor about it, because you're not getting top notch ones all the time. You're seeing the whole gamut of the world's worst and everything else in between, which I think would ruin it. So you would hope that you're a professional.
Probably similar to the beanbags.
Yes, he did tape my dick down and called it Mr. Happy. So I don't know if that
Did he really call it Mr. Happy?
Yeah, he said, let me put Mr. Happy away. I don't know, maybe he breaks the ice or something. That's how he does it. But yeah, I don't know.
Did you laugh?
We were on a first name basis at that point, you know.
You gonna invite him to one of your cookouts?
No.
Do you laugh when your hog is in somebody else's hand?
But
I always do, but I don't know about doctors.
he does it about as good as you could, because when I went there for like the pre, you know, it's awkward. Like, you're dropping your drawers for some other, whether it's a male or a female. Like, it's a doctor, you're dropping your drawers, and it's not a common thing. And he was just like, "Come here, let me see what you got." You know, so he kind of like,
I've seen them all.
right, and he does. He's like, "I see dicks all day. Come here," like, you know, like he's so over it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll have you in and out in 15 minutes."
The sorting.
That was the fucking.
This one's definitely going to Slytherin. Oh man, God, Harry Potter jokes on Jim Joe Steve show.
I thought that one was gonna fall empty because I didn't know if you guys.
It went way over my head.
All right.
Thank God I decided to start reading that to Joey last year.
You reading the books?
Yeah,
I don't read any books.
yeah, we're
Well, I
reading.
read kids. I mean, I read my kids' books. But what's the last book you read? Like
the
Like
three,
book, like
a book.
the 3-body problem.
When?
2 years ago.
All right. What about you?
Maybe about a year ago, like a physical book. A year ago, it was a book called Save the Cat.
God, I feel so stupid. The last book I read was The Da Vinci Code.
Which was a good book, but that was a long time ago that book came out.
Really, when so before the movie came out.
when we
so it's
lived-
gotta be like 15 years ago.
When we
When
lived,
we
in
lived
Humber-
together, I remember Jim was like, "This book is so good. You've got to read this book." Jim was like, "I don't read books. This book is awesome. Got to read it." I was like, "And the movie's coming out. Like, read it before, the movie comes out, and we'll go see the movie." So I started reading this book, and I was slacking on it a little bit, and then I was like, "All right, like the movie comes out Friday or whatever day it comes out." Jim and Nicole were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go see the movie at this time." I was like, "All right, got to get the book done that time." I was like sitting there reading the book, like a half hour before we were getting ready to leave for the movies, and I finished the book. I was like, "I'm so sick of this story. I don't want to go see the movie." I've still never seen that movie.
That is it's like cramming for a test.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just didn't take the test.
Well, why?
I didn't expect to be sick of it. I was just like,
But why would you feel the need? Because you invested so much time that you were about to see it, and I need to finish it. Like, you basically just spoiled the movie you were
Did
about
you read
to
my
see.
book? Did I give you my book?
it was like a big one,
right
wasn't
with
it?
all the pictures.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that was the one I
that
read.
was a cool one because they had paperback books that didn't have like the art that it was talking about. But the book that I got had, when it referenced a certain painting, it had on the next page a full version of the painting, so you could kind of stay pace with it and see what they were talking about.
No, the book that I read, there was no words. The whole thing was pictures.
Oh, you mean the coloring book?
Right.
Oh, so got it.
Part of me
It was-
went, really?
it was the Da Vinci coloring code.
It's a comic book. I tried to read Angels and Demons and kind of faded out on that one,
Yeah.
which was
Wait a minute. Correction. I read Angels and Demons. That was the last book I read. But I keep buying books that I'm like, I'll read, and they're all like self-help books. I bought.
Are they helping?
I haven't read any of them.
So no,
I bought 9 Innings of Success by Jim Palmer. And the reason I bought it was Jim Palmer was in Barnes and Nobles, and signing books.
You
but
wanted
had
his
to buy
autograph.
one. I just wanted to meet him, so I was like, "Oh, I'll buy the
Oh,
$20
okay, I can
book.
get that one.
I'll buy it." And then I was like, "I'm going to read it," and it's sitting in a bookshelf that I'm never going to read.
Did you shake his giant hands?
I did shake his hands.
got
and
massive
then immediately after, the lights went out, like the power went out in the Barnes & Noble, and they scooped him up like he was like the president. Ran him to the back.
Gotta get Jim out of
It
here.
was so weird.
JJ said something one time. We were out to lunch, and I thought it was one of the
JJ's one of our friends.
I was going.
You're a new listener.
one of the more clever things that JJ has said. I mean, not that JJ doesn't say. Anyway, so you know how like a half lemonade, half iced tea is an Arnold Palmer?
Yes.
Yes.
The soup, you can get the soup, the half and half, the half Maryland
Right.
crab, half cream of crab, but you can get that mixed together, half
Sure.
and half. And he said they should call that a Jim Palmer. I was like, I like that.
I mean, it's clever, but does he like crab soup?
JJ?
Yeah.
I would assume so.
No, not JJ.
Jim Palmer?
Jim Palmer.
I would also assume so.
Okay.
Why do you
Isn't
assume
the
so?
Arnold Palmer
'Cause he
because
played for
that's
Bal-
the drink he
What-
made? Like,
Joe, what is your reasoning behind the
Baltimore baseball player, last name Palmer, a mix of two things.
Sold.
I think that's checking a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it's checking a lot of
okay.
boxes.
I mean, I get it. Yeah. All right. Checks out.
I mean, and imagine having a Jim Palmer and an
Go ahead, Joe.
Arnold Palmer.
That's having 4 things at once.
You eat the 4-course special.
Yeah, I know. It's basically a 4-course meal you're having all at once.
Just give me the Palmers.
Yeah. So you guys got any plans for 4th of July?
Wait, did 4th of July already pass?
No, it's coming up next week.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, right at the 4th of July, I think I already invited Joe, but Steve, we're having a cookout.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
On the 10th.
All right.
So, here's your invite.
Thanks. Listeners, we'll recap it for you.
We'll tweet out Jim's address. Everybody who listens is invited.
Yeah.
And you get one koozie for the first 15 people to show
Are
up.
you going to hand out koozies while we're there?
We are almost out. I did send out, do we want to get more? And I think you said no, and Joe said yes.
All right. Well, then let's get more.
Okay.
Are we having a show meeting live on air?
We are. This is pretty much the extent of how we discuss things.
Joe's going to then ask us if we have any more koozies in 2 weeks.
Right. All right, I got 2 questions. Do you want to go deep or do you want to keep it up pace?
Let's go shallow.
Okay. I saw something the other day and it sparked this question about
This is when you were staring into the deep crevice of the cum cup.
yes, when I was questioning my life choices.
So great.
If you're going to gag into the mic, Steve.
Yeah.
And, and I saw something the other day, and it reminded me like how I judge people for out in public because when they do something or don't do something.
Like how you like seriously judge them, or how like you comically judge them in your head.
Comically judge them, but then also seriously like, oh, this. Okay, for instance,
Yes.
this is how I judge people. If I see someone not putting back their shopping cart,
Oh yeah, terrible. Have you ever seen the YouTube channel?
I have seen a couple videos where the guy harassed. Like,
I sent it to you guys.
Are
Yeah.
you the one that? Yeah.
yeah.
but
The cart narcs.
Cart
Yeah.
narcs.
if
Shout
I
out
see
to the cart
someone, if I see someone not putting their cart back, they don't have to take it to the store unless that's the only place for it. If there's like a shopping cart where the designated spot where you put your shopping carts out, if I see someone just pushing it into the next spot over, I just think that person is shitty all the way around.
Scum of the earth.
That they just suck as a person.
Yeah.
That no successful person has ever gone through life not putting the shopping cart back.
What if you see a person in a mad dash out of the grocery store, everything bagged, so they paid, mad dash out of the grocery store, throwing shit into their car, leave the cart right there and peel away? Do you think they have a reasonable reason for having left the cart?
If that's the case, I would give them a little leeway because I would think either this is a good act to not put a shopping cart back.
Every time he goes to the store, he's going to act real flustered.
or they're like, there's something, going crazy.
You know what
fine.
The argument always in the cart
That never
narcs-
happens.
Never. I've never seen it.
The argument always in the cart narcs is that they're like, they have people that put it back.
Oh, sure.
And they're like, yeah, but you don't go into the middle of the bathroom and piss on the floor just because they have a janitor who goes and cleans it up.
Well, also
you do it where it's supposed to go.
If you put it in the shopping, like if you don't put it away, it will drift into someone's car or take up a parking space and make somebody else move it.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, like the same way with like if I grab something at the grocery store and I don't need it, I will put it back. I will take it back to the shelf that it was on and put it back. And my reason for that is if everybody did that kind of stuff, the grocery store would need less employees. That takes costs down a little bit. Like,
I don't know if it
people are
goes that
happier.
far, but I just think as a person in society that interacts with other people, you just have a responsibility to do the right thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I always like to try to push it and make it like a golf game. Like you try
To see if you can get it right into the other cart?
Yeah,
Oh,
see
yeah.
if you can right into the other cart.
But
from
you
as
also
far
have to
away
do it
as
with
possible.
some force because it's got to knock the.
Yeah. It's a whole. You gotta have it.
And if you
right
get a
amount of
wobbly
touch.
wheel, you don't want it to make the steer right. You don't, you got to make
gotta
sure
chase
that.
it.
Yeah.
Do you ever ride the cart?
Yes, all the time.
I do too. I
Have you
love
ever
it.
rode the cart and have it do a wheelie and then fall face on, like flat on your face?
No,
I've had it do the wheelie, but I haven't fallen. I've caught
seen
myself.
someone do that and they busted their knuckles up because they didn't let go because they landed on their knuckles.
the car can come back on them.
Well, there was nothing in it,
Oh,
and I just seen them.
you can't ride an empty cart. You got to ride. Do you ride an empty cart?
Physics,
No.
motherfucker.
Right, you got
Counterbalance.
to balance that shit out.
Anybody want to play? Drink some beer
Yes,
because I need one.
I need one. I'll get the beers.
Yes, you're the closest. Anybody know what that was from?
No, is that
Anybody want to play Drink the Beer?
Yeah, it's Family Guy.
It is. Family Guy. Joe said Family Guy if you didn't hear him, and he would be correct. Do you know what episode of Family Guy?
122 season 4?
Episode 1.
Oh, really?
It was the first episode.
Why do you know that?
Because I just turned on Family Guy for my dog when I left. Yeah, give me a natty.
Thanks, sir.
And it was within the first 5 minutes. Quagmire said it.
Really?
Anybody want to please? Whatever his voice is.
So I'll tell you the reason why I know it is because I had a Power Hour mix that I downloaded like off Napster or something a long time ago.
LimeWire.
Lime, yeah, absolutely. And it was it was 60 1-minute clips of songs, and after every song was over, it would say "Drink the beer," and then
Oh, really?
yeah, and then you drink your whatever 1.5 ounces.
Some
of
guy on
beers.
Napster thought that shit was so funny. And it went to probably millions of people.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh god, I remember I did that at my my townhouse in Baltimore. Where I was with it was me and Anthony, and, maybe Dylan or Ben.
Joe's friend. Who's
Yeah.
Joe's friend?
One of Joe's buddies.
One of my buddy, my old neighbor, and then one of my roommates. I think Ben may have done it with us. And on the last shot of beer, number 60, I did it and went out back and barfed it up.
I remember
was so bummed.
I did it one time years ago. I mean, Christ, it could be 15 years, maybe more. We were down here, and we did a Power Hour, and I thought I never even heard of Power Hour, and it was like, oh, a shot of beer in a minute, every minute.
Yeah, that's no big
It's like,
deal.
Easy,
7 beers in an hour.
right? And it was like 15 minutes. And I'm tapping out because I'm like, I can't down another beer, and I'm thinking like I got 45 more shots to go.
It's amazing how when you do that, when you realize how fast you're drinking all the beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not 7 because average beer is 12 ounces. So every 12 minutes, it's 6 beers.
No, it's 1.5. There's 1.5 ounces in a shot.
I thought it was only 1 ounce.
No, it's 1.5 ounces.
Well, there you go. 7 beers an hour.
We've learned something new here on Jim Joe Steve Show.
And if I'm wrong, somebody will let us know.
That's for damn sure.
Definitely, that is true.
I got a text from my mom that said,
We did not leave Top Gun at your grandma's house.
no, it was about when I said that Olivia Newton-John was in Grease, and it was God, what was the name of the woman who played her?
I think we did say who it was.
We fixed that. Okay,
Yeah.
so but I got like an email or a text, and all it said was like that woman's name that played her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't give a shit when you're right. They were like, "Oh yeah, that's a pretty good show. Let's do it." But fuck you, you say one thing wrong, and they're like, "What, motherfucker?" And they will let you know.
So you can let us know on Twitter at Jim Joe Steve,
Yeah, you can definitely, or Facebook or Instagram.
or give us a call.
You never asked, what was the question about the...
Oh, yeah, judging public. Like, did you have any things where somebody does something?
When I see somebody throw trash out of their car window.
You
Oh.
do have a big problem with that.
I do too, because I hate that.
Yeah.
Because when you're driving somewhere, you end up somewhere, and wherever you end up has a trash can.
Correct.
So it takes extra effort to be a douchebag, because you have to wind down your window and throw it out, as opposed to just have it in your hand and walk to the place you're walking
Yeah.
to throw
And
it away.
there's a good chance that there's a trash can on the way. Like, you don't even have to go out of your way.
Yeah, usually if you're going somewhere and you park, there's a trash can right next to wherever
Everywhere
you park.
you go is a trash can.
And I have a feeling the kind of person that is going to throw their trash out on the road has a dog shit looking inside of their car anyway.
I bet you their car is immaculate because they
It
throw all
probably
this shit
is.
out.
It probably is. That's why my car looks like shit, because I keep it all in the car.
You're waiting for the next trash can. What was the question?
What
It
do
was
you
very vague.
What do you judge people by? What's something that people do that makes you judge them?
What's a bugaboo?
What's a bugaboo?
Well, I will say, I told it to you guys earlier that I was at the beach and
You hate when you get rescued,
no.
falsely rescued, falsely accused.
I hate
of not
every
being-
time when I'm just dancing with waves.
no,
and the
and I told
lifeguard
you
goes,
there were, and to be perfectly honest, we were recording this during senior week.
That's true.
So there was two people on the beach laying down in a fitted sheet as a blanket, and they were stretching it with their legs, and then they had a box and
That's a lot of
trash
effort
can
to relax on the beach to constantly
try
have to.
Yeah, I know, to try to get it as stretched out as possible. And then and I was like, look at these homeless people, these kids just sitting here making all this, just laying here and
just
laying on
making the best of whatever they
Right.
got.
And then they left and they were cleaning out their car, cleaning the sand off of their fitted sheet in a brand new Tesla in front of the way to get out. So now me with three kids, my wife, a cart full of shit, have to go around this Tesla because he's blocking the way. And there's another family ahead of us that had to do the same thing. And people's social awareness when their life is a little bit easier than the people that are doing it. It was my get off my lawn moment today.
Elon Musk sold all his shit, including his beach blanket. He had to use a fitted sheet.
Yeah, I know. It just, when people just self-awareness of just like
Being unself-aware.
yes, just not being aware of
Oblivious.
Yep, just the whole thing about the fitted sheet didn't mean anything, but it was just the fact that his car was parked right at the fucking exit and that I had to go around.
So, no, I think the fitted sheet does mean something, because so they're down in Ocean City. They're using a fitted sheet.
Which
that
means they
probably
didn't plan anything.
Well, they probably also didn't bring that fitted sheet from home.
No, it's
so
from
that,
a hotel.
That means they took a hotel sheet.
Yeah.
Didn't you say they also were holding down one of the corners of the with a trash can?
Like the black little small trash can, which you know is from a hotel room.
Also came out of the hotel. So, I mean, these people, like, just don't care about, and then they block the exit. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Yeah. I don't even think that's being oblivious. I think that's being a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just assholes, and poor planners. One, because if you're going to the beach, buy a fucking towel.
Or yeah, go to Sunsations.
Or if you're going to steal the hotel room sheet, there's non-fitted sheets also, which means they're just idiots.
Yeah, I know.
On top
it
of
was
that,
weird. Well, I'll just say, those two people that were on 120th Street a couple weeks ago, fuck you.
and if they're listeners, stop listening. We
Yeah,
don't want those
We
listeners.
don't want your kind listening.
Just know you did something wrong and you pissed off one of the co-hosts.
And now we're all pissed off.
Yeah, now we're all mad.
So we mentioned Scott and Amanda last week. One time, Steve and I were at Scott and Amanda. They used to live in this tiny apartment, but it was back when poker was really hot in the early 2000s. And so they had poker games relatively regularly. And they would put 3 poker tables up in the living room of this tiny little apartment. And one time we were sitting there playing poker, and I was in flip-flops as always, sitting down playing poker, and Steve from another table crawls under the table, under my chair, and puts chili on my toes. And I didn't even know he did it. Like, I didn't feel the chili being applied to my toes. And then all of a sudden I got their little dachshund just hammering my toes, and I'm like, what's happening here? And then the whole other table erupted in
And I'm
laughter.
watching it because Joe's wiggling his toes because he's so happy, and Chili's getting in between his toes. The dog's licking harder because it needs to get into the nooks and crannies.
Let's just say me and that dog had a nice little experience.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
All right, well, that's a good thing to end on. All right, for Jim, Joe, Steve show, my name's Joe.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Jim.
And we'll talk to you soon.